So UFC 300 has a big problem, and it's not actually the card itself. The card itself is great. I think UFC 300 is a really solid card. I think it's a really, really fucking good card. I think it is actually better than UFC 299. You look at it, they've just added Jarlin Turner versus Renato Moicano. You have Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Like, that right there, take my money. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is a great card. Even Yan versus Zhang is a really good title fight. That's a decent fight. That's one of the better women's fights you're going to get. But there is a big steaming pile of shit on that main card. The biggest problem with this card is not the card itself, but it's the overall bout order. You have Yuri Prohaska, former UFC light heavyweight champion, fighting on the prelims against Alexander Rakic. You have former UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling fighting on the prelims. But you have Cody Brundage on the main fucking card of UFC 300. What happened to Dana White saying, first fight of the night, everyone's going to be like, wow, was that, everyone's going to be freaking out when they find out the first fight of the night. And now you have fucking Bo Nickel, like the fourth last fight on the card. Now, normally, I guess sometimes that spot's reserved for like a piss break, but like, this is fucking UFC 300. You have Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan before Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I think Bo Nickel is an extraordinary talent. I think he's a really good talent. I think he has all the potential in the world. But are the UFC trying to make everybody fucking hate him? Like, that is the hypothesis I have at this point. Like, are they trying to make Bo Nickel the most hated fighter in the UFC? Because it's fucking working. If that's their plan, they're doing a good job. Bo Nickel's going to be more hated than Bilal Muhammad by the end of the year, because you keep putting him on all of these pay-per-view main cards. Not only are you stinking up the main cards, but you're putting low-tier competition against him. Cody Brundage is low-tier competition. He is lucky he's still in the UFC. He got a DQ over Jacob Malkoun, then he got a slam KO, which was really, really nice against Zachary Reese. It was a beautiful slam KO, but he was on like a 4-fight losing streak. He had one of the worst fights I've ever seen against Cedric Dumas. It was one of the worst fights ever. It was horrible. Then before that, gets choked out by Vieira. Before that, who did he lose to before that? I know he's lost a couple of times, because I think he was on like, a 3-fight losing streak. And then he, gets a DQ win over Jacob Malkoun to stay in the UFC. Like, are you serious? Oh, he got KO'd by Michelle Olachechik. And then got lucky that Jacob Malkoun accidentally elbowed him in the back of the head. Like, this guy is on the main card of the biggest card of the year. This is meant to be the greatest card. Dana White said it's going to be the best card of all time and all this stuff. And it is still a good card, but the bout order, man. It's not that hard to fix the bout order. Like, look at this. I would rather Jarlin Turner versus Renato Moicano on the main card. I would rather Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Fucking, you could put Sadiq Youssef versus Diego Lopez. I wouldn't mind. But Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage is such a big steaming pile of dog shit that it shouldn't be on the card. Firstly, it's one-sided. Bo Nickel's going to run through Cody Brundage. I know people want to see Bo Nickel lose, but this is a squash match. Brundage, he's not on this card. He's not on the main card because the UFC will think it's shit. This Cody Brundage guy, he might be very promotable. We could promote this guy. Like, no, they don't think that. They just see, you got taken down by lesser wrestlers than Bo Nickel. He's been KO'd before. This is a fight that, Bo Nickel shouldn't lose this fight. But it shouldn't be it should be opening up the early prelims at best, not being put on the main card. Like, the UFC, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're purposely trying to sabotage this card. They're trying to make Bo Nickel the most hated man in combat sports, because he's fucking getting up there. I think Bo Nickel's a really nice guy. I think he's a great guy, actually. I like some of his clips. I like his stuff he puts up on Instagram. He seems like a nice He seems like a nice dude. Maybe people think he's really cocky because he's calling out all these people, but I see it as more in as like a humble sort of cocky. I don't think he's saying this to talk trash like Colby. I think he generally believes he can beat like the Hamza Chimaevs and all these guys. And I'm not saying he can or he can't, but he doesn't seem like an arsehole or anything like that. Very cocky guy, but not in a dickish way. I don't feel like, but he is fucking hated. Everyone's praying on his downfall now to get knocked out by Cody Brundage, and maybe that's what the UFC is trying to do. But I feel like it's just stupid. You're ruining your main card. Firstly, I don't think Cody Brundage versus Bo Nickal's adding any more pay-per-view buys than if you had Alexander Rakic versus Yuri Prohaska, which would bring in a bunch of Eastern European / Central European fans. A lot of Balkan fans. Austrian fans maybe as well. It would bring in a bunch of different parts of Europe, as opposed to Cody Brundage and Bo Nickal. What is he bringing? Bo Nickal bringing in the Penn State fucking pay-per-view buys? Like, I don't really think that's going to add much. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of wrestling fans, and I mean like collegial wrestling fans, will see this and say, oh, we got to watch Bo Nickal's fight or something like that. But I feel like, marketing wise, it'd be smarter if you had the Europeans on the card. But maybe they're putting Yuri Prohaska and Alexander Rakic on there because of the timing. Maybe they want the Europeans to check out the prelims. I'm not quite sure. I'm just trying to rationalize why they would be doing this. It doesn't make much sense to me. The UFC need to fix this. Get Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage off the main card. If you're going to have Bo Nickal on the main card, don't put him against low tier competition. Have him fight. I'm not saying throw him right to the wolves, but like, you don't put him against fucking Cody Brundage. You put him against someone a bit better than that, in my opinion, if you're going to put him on a main card, which he still, at this point, shouldn't be on a main card of a pay-per-view, in my humble opinion. But, we'll see what happens. The guy's 2-0 in the UFC. I don't like this whole main card streak and everything like that. Get him on fight nights. Get him active. But keep him off pay-per-views. Put him on prelims, early prelims, I don't give a shit. We need to stop stinking up main cards for Bo Nickal versus generic fucking can number 4. It just doesn't make any sense to do. And all respect to the guys he's fighting, they are MMA fighters, but like, it's not main card worthy in my opinion. But anyway, let me know what you think about Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage being on the main card of UFC 300, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you ain't already, share this video around, and I'll see you guys next time. I appreciate you guys. Catch ya. Goodbye.